Oh, yes, welcome. I am Saint Germain. We welcome you all. We are excited for your journey. We have a question from a viewer. It is that, what is it like to be in 5D? Where is 5D? What does this mean? We would say that fifth dimension isn't a place you are going. It is a state of consciousness. It is a perception. Your perception of fifth dimension in fifth dimension is different than in third dimension. It is simply a state of consciousness. We would say that as you move from a third dimension perspective to a fifth dimension perspective, you will view your reality in imperfection. There would be no judgment, there would be no attachments, and there would be no identities that you are attached to. Look around in your life where you are still attached to an identity that you have created in your reality, or that you have an attachment to maybe friends or family, or to a job, or to your personal material items. Is there any area in your life where you're judging another person for doing something good or bad or right or wrong? If you simply observe another's game or another's experience in your reality, if you are in your reality and you are observing their reality, you would see that when you observe without judgment, that everything flows easily around you. It is when you are judging another's action or judging your own action as good or bad or right or wrong, then it keeps you in a third dimension perspective. It keeps you in the game of polarities, in the game of contrast, and it keeps you in the ego consciousness. In order to be in a fifth dimension perspective, we would say simply observe. That is all that is needed. Observe those around you in their activities, and observe your own activities and anything that you do in your reality without judgment, without a polarity or a contrast. What if it simply is? What if I could look at the people around me and simply observe? What if I could stand outside my own body and simply observe my day-to-day activities instead of attaching to them? As you begin to do this and you let go of your attachments and your identities, we would say, who are you without an identity? Many people who ask this question will have an awareness that they have attached to an identity, being a mother or a father or a teacher or a sister. There are many identities people take on every day in their realities, and we would say, who are you without an identity? This would be a good question to ask oneself. As you let go of these identities and these attachments and these judgments, then your perception will change. This is what it would be if you were in fifth dimension. You are standing in seeing everything in perfection. As you begin to do this, the universe begins to work through you instead of you fixing everything in front of you or wanting to change something or pointing out that something isn't right or pointing out that something is wrong. The universe, when you are trying to fix something, you are in the way of the universe. If you simply stand back and be present in the now moment, this brings you to a fifth dimension reality. This is what we mean by saying that you're not going anywhere. It is a state of consciousness, and you are multidimensional. You can go in and out of third dimension to fifth dimension simply by changing your perception. A question to ask oneself would be, am I looking through the eyes of love or fear? If there is fear behind my words or my actions, then I am in a third dimension perspective and I'm playing the third dimension ego game. If I am standing in fifth dimension and I am looking through the eyes of love and I'm offering love from my heart, but I'm not trying to fix or correct anything outside of myself, then I am allowing the universe to work through me, and things will begin to show up in my life that feel like magic, that look like magic, that are in alignment, that things are lining up. I am getting excited every day. I have let go of my attachments. So when the government comes in and tries to take that from me, and I have no attachment to it, then I can never be disappointed. We will give an example of this. If Tara had COVID restrictions come into her reality, just as all of you did, and her perception was that when she was not allowed to go out to restaurants or out to gatherings, she felt free while imprisoned. This is the key. It is, how do I feel free while I am imprisoned? Many of the collective began to see the COVID restrictions as a prison. They began to see these prison walls going up, and Tara's perception was that it opened doors to freedom. How is this so? Her perception was in a different reality. She was looking at it in a fifth dimension perspective. If I am in lockdown and I am not allowed out of my house, this opens space for creativity and self-reflection. This gives me more time to work with my inner child. This gives me more energy to channel for YouTube. This gives me more energy to create and reflect. This would be a great gift. Tara thought in her perception. She was seeing it as being free while imprisoned. This is the key. You've all created a prison in your realities, and we would say that it would be that some of you have created this in a job that you are not happy in. If your boss is controlling, or maybe you are a student and your parents are making you go to school, or you are a mother with children and you have to give all of your time to your children and you have no time for yourself, or maybe you are in a marriage that is uncomfortable for you and that has much control issues and domestic violence. We would say these are all prisons that one has created in the reality, and if the game is, can I be free while imprisoned? And you achieve this this mission of getting to the next level in the game of life by being free while you're in your prison, having a full sense of freedom within that. Then the doors will open. This is the key. That the key would go into the lock and turn, and the doors would open. You would be able to walk out and walk free with much abundance flowing to you from the universe. This is the game on planet Earth. Can I be free while I am imprisoned? I have created this prison for myself in my reality. Many of you have created this prison, and it is all in the mind and the way it is perceiving its reality is creating this prison for oneself. And we would say that it would be beneficial to change your perception and see if the doors to the jail gates would open. Would this not be beautiful if I can be free while I'm in prison now, and then be able to step out of the cell? Once this happens, that you find freedom within your situation that you are not happy in. It is finding the happiness within the now moment, within yourself, by going in instead of looking outside of yourself. The prison walls cannot take your power. It is never you giving your It is never them taking it. It is always you giving them the power. If the government has created these walls of restriction around you with these COVID restrictions, and you were to set yourself free by changing your perception, this would open many doors, and the cell to your prison would open. You could step out. We would say that this is where people will begin to be in their flow of receiving many gifts from the universe. There are many gifts coming for all of you if you would begin to change your perception and see the gratitude, give the gratitude, and see the abundance that you already have in this now moment. There are many abundances around you. We would give an example of that many are in a have created a prison within their own mind. One of the ways that they have created this prison is being in the wrong body. I am in the wrong body and I feel trapped. And we would say, is this not the ultimate prison? Many old souls, or as you would call it, or souls that have been on the planet many times, have upped the game and have created different kind of prison by not feeling comfortable in their own skin. Tara many times did not feel like she would be human. She thought maybe she would be a better fit being a starseed in the Palladian system. This would be that she wanted to leave her human body and go live on another planet. Did this not keep her a prisoner in her own shell or her own vehicle? She kept herself a prison for many years, wanting to escape and leave the planet and go to another planet and put on a different costume. But we would say that if one would go in and free the chains within them, it would open the prison doors. It would open the prison gates. We'll give another example. Tara had watched a documentary on a woman who had her mother was quite abusive, and she had her mother murdered and got put in prison. She said that she finally felt free when she got put in prison. She was in a federal state prison and she had finally found the freedom she was looking for. It's all the perceptions. Her prison was her mother's control and abuse, and when she got put into jail for many years, she finally felt free. This is that many people that are incarcerated into the federal state prisons in the prison system have felt we would say feel free while imprisoned. They are not seeing the walls of the jail cells as a limitation. They are awakening to remembering who they are as consciousness and setting themselves free well being imprisoned. All of you have created this prison because it is a third dimension reality, and that's the game that you are playing. The key is to find freedom within that imprisonment and set yourself free. And as you do this, more abundance will flow into your life and more alignment. Everything will come into alignment. You will see everything in perfection. We would say that as you stop giving your power, as you begin to love you instead of please others, then you will see the power within your heart, not the power within your head. We're talking about the power within your heart. You will begin to see your own truth, and you will begin to live and speak your own truth, and you will begin to have we would say a more joyous, balanced life where things and magic flow to you easily, with ease. There would be a perception of no struggling and no suffering. It is an experience that I'm having here on planet Earth, and I will no longer perceive anything as struggling or suffering. I will no longer attach to an identity, and I will no longer attach to things, my personal things. If I let go of the attachments and then I lose them, how could I ever be disappointed? We would say one is only disappointed if they have attached to something. This is what triggers them. You cannot be triggered if you are we would say you cannot be triggered if you are not seeking validation outside of yourself. If one is to call you a name and it hurts your feelings, it is because you were seeking a validation outside of yourself. If you begin to look in and love who you are within yourself, you will no longer seek validation outside of yourself. And then when someone says something with the aim to hurt your feelings, it will no longer hurt. This is how you will be empowered. You cannot take take anything from me if I already know that I am everything. We would say that there is when there is confusion in the head, there is chaos in one's reality. Clear the head, make a blank canvas in your mind's eye, and see what shows up. We would say that all is well on planet Earth. We are excited for your journey.